Hello, hello. You may still remember our restarting madness from last week. I know that it wasn't last week because I skipped an upload, but can we just pretend, okay, let it go live. We are restarting. It's going to be a tent rest services, Icelandic / Norse mythology, Druid island. I am creating a second character on a second switch so that I can get all my permits. Then we're going to be transferring this character over to the new island. So I was grinding for that. Grinding one last little grinding session. Start the moving process, the final map. And I'm very excited about decorating it again. So stay tuned for that. Well, today we are finally here to design the island entrance to Skir, a Nordic Druid / Icelandic island. I am extremely excited to be working on this because, as some of you may know, Iceland is my absolute favorite place in the world, and I feel very, very inspired by the country and by its landscape and by its nature. So I think that this is going to be a very, very lovely island. As you can also see, I have rest services in the tent. That is going to stay that way. If you're not aware of how you can do that, I have 2 videos now up on the channel that walk you through the entire process. I'm going to link the OG one below because that also links you back to a website that I made just for that single purpose. But I did do a more updated version because I wasn't aware of some of the tips and tricks. So I'd recommend go watch both, you know, shameless self-plug. But welcome. I hope you had a lovely week. I hope that you got to celebrate Thanksgiving with your families and had a wonderful time spending the day with whatever you want to spend it with good food, good company, or by yourself. Yourself can be the best company in the world, if you ask me, by the way. And yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everyone who was celebrating, or happy Friday to everybody who wasn't. For this build, also you might notice some changes in my voice because the intro, for example, I recorded when I think I recorded the intro back like 2 weeks ago when I wasn't aware that I was gonna skip an upload because I didn't manage to do so because I had to take like a mental health break. I'm fine. I feel a lot better now. I'm in a much better place now. So I'm all good, but I had to take that week off. So I'm very sorry again. But there's a very big project coming up next week probably. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I have been working on that for a very long time and I hope that you're going to like it. But for this build, I wanted to create or recreate rather. I'm not sure if you're aware or have seen many pictures of Iceland, but oftentimes it features these houses that are kind of nestled within overgrown grassy hill bits. I can't remember for the life of me. There is a word for those houses, but even if I was to remember the name, I wouldn't want to pronounce it on YouTube because I would probably completely butcher the name because Icelandic is a very difficult language. But I wanted to kind of recreate those for this island entrance and I wanted to keep it fairly open and flat. So to the right side, we're also going to be doing a rather flat build. I could have done some terraforming, but I didn't want to block off the resident services tent because I really like how that looks like a research area. So I wanted to keep it that way. And I am going to create a little stone circle, not really a little one, it's going to be a very big one. And I'm not going to lay down any in-game pathing just now, and I'm going to do that later on because I wanted to see how I had to lay this out first because this was a pain in the ass to create. I can just tell you that much. If you'd plan to recreate this, prepare yourself for a very bad headache and for lots of fidgeting, lots of items, lots of zhuzhing stuff up and rearranging things so many times. So I really sped this up to the max because it was so painful to do this. So you're gonna see me like plonk down items super quickly in a little bit because I just couldn't be asked to, you know, show you the full thing because I think you'd lose your brain as much as I did, and I don't want to subject you to the pain that I went through, okay? But I am very happy and pleased with the outcome, and I am going to place down a what is it called? A double-edged sword, I think it's called, in the middle of the stone circle. But because the custom design wasn't centered, I had to kind of rearrange the stone circle a little bit so that it was a bit more round and less like of an oval shape. And then I'm going to place the sword in the middle because why not? Why not? I thought it looked very, very cute. And then I wanted to have a little stone arch leading into rest services. Obviously, we're not going to be decorating rest services, so it is looking a little bit blank and not decorated behind that. But we're going to be tackling that for the next video, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And back to the entrance. I am going to keep this, as I said, super open. I'm going to do a ton of waterscaping and a ton of foliage So for this island entrance, or for this island in general, I decided to go with a more muted color palette. So we're going to go with some blues, whites, greens, and I think that's about it. I don't think that we're going to be using any other colors. I only wanted to go with colors that I see naturally appear in the Animal Crossing nature in fall. So for example, since we have the autumn weeds, they have the little blue bits on them. That's why I decided to go with a blue and green mix, because I feel like they are going to match this vibe very, very well, because this is exactly where I want to save the DA to, so we can't time travel, because I'm also going to keep the 2 starter homes as the tents, and I have placed them nearer services if you haven't seen my last video, because I want to make a research area. So that is going to be the next build probably that we're going to be tackling, which I'm very, very excited to be working on. I think I'm going to be having so much fun with this island because this is so close to my heart. Also, I know that this is a very short build. This is very unlike me. Like usually my builds are around like the 20-minute mark, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. But with this one, because it was so finicky, I felt like I had to cut out a lot of it. So I'm very sorry that this is a shorter build if that's not something that usually floats your boat. But with the new project, you will see a lot more from me on YouTube. So I hope that I can make up for that in the coming weeks. So yeah. I hope that you're going to like that new project that is going to come to the channel very, very soon. So this is going to be a rather short build because I did cut out a lot of the, you know, planting and stuff, because you don't have to see me plant all the flowers. I'm going to show you a lot in the beginning of this video, but then towards the end, you kind of know the patterns that I place my flowers in, and you don't really need to see that, right? We all have limited time, okay? We're all busy people, so I didn't want to again subject you to that pain that I went through. But I feel like this is the shortest but most headachy build for an island entrance that I've ever done, because this took me ages to build because of all the pathing that I had to lay down for the stone circle. You will see in a bit what I mean by that. It was so painful to lay down the custom design path and place the stones on top of it. I'd probably recommend doing a stone circle first, but it's always difficult to do that when you don't really know the dimensions, like to lay the stone circle first with like custom designs. But it's so difficult to wrap your head around how the stone circle has to look if you haven't done it before. So I think it was a good approach how I did this, to first put down these stone items and then do the custom path. But it was just so painful because I had to rearrange the whole thing again, basically. So I am going to cut a lot of it out as well, just so that you get an idea of what I did. And then I'm going to show you the final product, obviously, because, you know, that's always the most exciting bit. I always love to do the little montages at the end of a build because that brings me so much joy. And I hope that I can find like some very scenic music for this, because I don't know, I just feel, I don't know, my heart is just so happy looking at this island. I think it's going to bring me so much joy. I have so many cool ideas that I want to do for this island, and I want to go off of so many IRL reference photos that I've taken when I went to Iceland. Obviously, again, if you have any ideas or any photos that you'd like to see me recreate, send them my way. My arms are wide open for them. I would love to tackle some of you lot's ideas, because you have the best ideas. Honestly, we started working on our The Last of Us island last night on stream. For me, it's currently November 25th. And it is Friday. It is the same day for me as it is for you. Oh my god, I completely forgot. You guys have the bestest ideas. So if you haven't been over to Twitch yet and you like abandoned city builds, flop on over there, because we're basically redoing our island of drops that I've done, like the abandoned post-apocalyptic island that I've done in the past. We're basically doing the same theme again, but post 2.0, and also just remodeling it with like different builds, different layouts and stuff. So we're not really trying to recreate it, but we're doing a similar theme. So if that's maybe how you found us, because I feel like that's how many people found this channel, then flop on over there. We'd love to see you. We'd love to hang out with you and get your creative juices flowing as well, you know. But we are already detailing up this little stone circle. This was very difficult. I was initially gonna put some flowers within it, but because this was such a weird shape, I felt kind of strange about it. So I thought that I'd keep it rather flat, and I just did some weeds. I might give this like a little remodel throughout, because it does feel a little bit weird being that flat. But I think we're just gonna have like tons of foliage around it, so that it kind of makes sense that it's flat, so that it looks different to what it's surrounded by. So if you have any ideas of what we could do with that stone circle inside, please comment it down below because I need the input. But now we're already detailing up the left side of the island entrance. So I finished up that waterscaping. That's probably going to lead into like a waterfall eventually. And I just filled it up with flowers, with natural items like the mum cushions, the stone items, obviously the glowing moss, because I feel like the glowing moss makes it so much more magical, because I do want to have some Norse mythology within this island. Same as with the build ideas. If you have any you know, suggestions there, flop them my way. But we are on to waterscaping this now. I'm probably going to lead this into like a little waterfall build. I already have a lovely idea in my good old noggin that I think I have come up with. We will see if it's going to work out in Animal Crossing, because I've tried something like that in the past, but we shall see. We will find out when we get to that, right? I always get ahead of myself with new islands. I think of so many ideas, but then it's going to take me a while, and then I get frustrated because it's taking me a while. So I'm going to take it slow with this one. We have all the time in the world, okay? But yeah, I just wanted to fill this up with like natural items like mum cushions, rocks, obviously some bunnies. I feel like we needed some bunnies. I feel like they are the perfect item to place around here to give it some more life, right? I mean, it does look very alive because of all the color that we have going on. I am very glad that I decided to implement some hints of blue here and there, because I feel like it works really well. And I am quite pleased with how the pansies look, because I usually don't use them, but I really like the white and the blue pansies actually. But we are already approaching the end of this video, my love. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Even though it was a shorter build, I hope that you still enjoyed it. And if you have any ideas, again, flop them below. I'd love to read from you. I'd love to see what you're up to, if you have any new islands that you're also working on, because I feel like oftentimes we start our new islands roughly around the same time. So if you just started a new island and you have a theme that you're very excited about, please share, because I'm sure we'd all love to see. But I'm going to leave you now, my love, with a montage of this finished product. Take care of yourself, my lovely. I'm going to see you next week with a very, very special new project. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Yeah. Bye-bye.